First, though, we'll check farm news. I visited with a broker yesterday who said that within a millisecond after the 11 a.m. release of the USDA Planting Intentions and Stocks report, the computers went wild. As USDA says farmers will plant record soybean acres this year, but the higher than expected corn acreage number stole the show. Yesterday morning, when USDA released its prospective plantings and quarterly grain stocks reports, planted corn acres now projected at 89.2 million, which is 2% less than last year, but much higher than the pre-report average. It also marks the lowest acreage, though, since 2010. And the third consecutive year that planted corn acres have declined. The biggest projected acreage decline would be in South Dakota, where there's a 600,000 acre drop in corn acres. All right, soybeans at 84.64 million would be a record crop, up 1% from last year. But in North Dakota, 200,000 fewer acres are likely. USDA projects soybean acres will be higher in 21 of the 31 top soybean producing states, but not North Dakota. USDA projects all wheat acres will be 55.4 million, down 3% from last year. Winter wheat 40.8, spring wheat 12.1, down a little from last year. Durum at 1.65 million, an 18% jump over last year. Soybean stocks are up 34%, corn stocks up 11%, wheat stocks up 6% compared to a year ago. On-farm storage of soybeans up from a year ago, 60%. The National Ag Genotyping Center is taking shape in Fargo. The interim director tells me one of the first projects that'll come out of the center will be a kit or an assay that will allow farmers to get an answer to a problem very quickly.
We're in one tube, one assay. And when I say a tube, it's really almost a drop of reagents. I mean, a very small amount. But in that one test, we can take a look at all pathogens in one test and have an answer within hours, where the current, you ship it off to the extension office or wherever you're having your test read, and it would take days, sometimes weeks. And that's what we're hearing for sugar beets, for example. The response times are very slow. This will put that technology in the hands of the crop consultants and the extension agents, and we can have very quick turnaround.
Snyder says they will be hiring biologists, geneticists, and agronomic technicians within a few weeks. Job openings and applications will be found on the NDSU website. A June 1st opening is planned. Senators Rand Paul of Kentucky and Chuck Grassley of Iowa introduced the Fuel Choice and Deregulation Act in the U.S. Senate Monday. The bill would extend the Environmental Protection Agency's Reid vapor pressure volatility waiver to E15. Currently only applies to E10. Senators say this would allow E15 to be sold to 2001 and newer vehicles year-round. All right, it is 4:41, time for our regular weekly feature on livestock stewardship, staying ahead of the curve in animal care. This week, the Ag Department reported calving was 26% complete in North Dakota. What does that mean? That means the mother cows and their health should be the focus for producers. That calf factory is the moneymaker on the ranch.
We don't want those cows to go into the calving season in poor body condition score. It impacts the vigor, the health of that calf, it impacts the quality of the colostrum, and it impacts her ability to rebreed and have another calf again. So let's not be complacent because this winter's been nice. Let's make sure we're looking at those cows and making sure they're in the kind of condition that will allow them to have another calf next year. And so sometimes our producers can look at the cow from the front to the back and see they got a lot of big hay belly, but if that spine is sticking up, or if they can see ribs, or if you see too much of the hip bones and the tail bones like that, why, that's an indication that cow's not in good shape. She needs a little bit more feed. And once she's calved, she's got a higher requirement now. So if you're in the last trimester of gestation, those cows are probably going to need a little bit more protein if they've just been on 8% hay during the feeding period. So that even alfalfa, even given just 2-3 times a week, can really make a difference for those cows. So it's a great feed for cows. It can be supplemented even with low-quality forages. So that's a good supplemental strategy. And of course, there are other protein sources that can be used as well.
This week's crop report from USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service reported the lack of snow cover had livestock producers very concerned, though, for grazing and haying potential. However, these same conditions allowed for good lambing and calving with minimal death losses. Staka says there are health concerns for newborn calves with our warm, dry spring.
When we get into really dry, dusty conditions, we talk a lot about what we call dust pneumonia. I'm not sure there actually is something such as dust pneumonia, but what can happen under extremely dusty conditions is that these calves, their normal defense mechanisms become almost overwhelmed trying to clear out particulate matter, and perhaps that makes them a little bit more susceptible to bacteria that get into those lungs. So there are some things that we don't like about really dry weather. Not enough grass, even not enough water, and some of these dusty conditions causing some problems for these calves to breathe properly and eliminate some of the infections that they might be exposed to.
Also in this week's report, cattle and calf conditions were rated 89% good to excellent in North Dakota. And that's our farm news segment for the Ag Show this April Fool's morning. It's 4:43. We're going to take a break, come back, and check today's full farming forecast.